want all these rubs. You have no idea how messy you are. We have such a fun topic to talk about today. Yes, cleaning. Not very fun. But be real with me. What do you think? What do you think of when you think of a bird person or bird lady? Probably something like this. Well, I am here to dispel all of those heinous ideas about what bird people are like. And we're gonna talk about my cleaning tricks and tips and what I do to keep my house as clean as I can try to make it be. I don't have a perfect track record, but in general, I am a little bit of a neat freak. If you have a bird, if you're looking into a bird, if you have multiple birds, or even just one small bird, cleaning is essential. You're basically locked into a cleaning contract. And this is honestly for your own good, because if you don't clean and you have a bird, it can be really dangerous for you, as well as for your companion parrot. Especially if you have some sort of cockatoo. He is very dusty, and when he's molting, it is just insane how much dander, feathers, dust he lets off. It's like he's tiny, and it is unbelievable. First, I'm just gonna talk about how much I clean. And this is just with one bird. If you have multiple birds, you're gonna have to up your ante. If you have smaller birds, maybe it's a little bit less. And it depends on how into cleaning you are and what your normal standard of living is. I pretty much will clean his cage once a week, once to twice a week. Twice a week is like a good week. Once a week is just normal. Once a week is mandatory. I have to clean it once a week. So that just includes taking the tray out, and wiping down the perches if there's poops. You don't want your parrot stepping in their own feces. That's not cool. Dusting the cage bars down, wiping poop off of the grate, just doing that. That's once a week. I usually vacuum, do a really good vacuum around the house twice a week. I use a hand vacuum around Boogie's cage twice a day, honestly. And I have air filters. I have 2 air filters in my house, as well as like a lot of cross breeze coming in through my windows. And then I try to dust once a week. So let's get into what I use, because a little trick is you definitely want to have products you like, because you can't escape this cleaning madness if you have a parrot. So get stuff that works really well, that makes you happy. Okay, so first of all, let's talk about air filters. I use the Oronzi HEPA air filter. Make sure that when you are shopping for air filters, you can get a HEPA filter. This works the best for pet dander, as well as like pollution and fires and whatnot. I live in LA, so that's important too. But I have 2 HEPA air filters. One is behind me right there, but the HEPA or the Oronzi air filter that I was talking about is in the bedroom right next to Bogie's bed. It works wonders. It's amazing. I made a review for it a few weeks ago, so check out that video if you are looking for any type of air filter. And then this filter right here is just my cheaper Amazon filter. I will link it below. I'll have all the products linked below, but I think this one is pretty inexpensive. It's not as good as the Oronzi filter at all by any means, but it still works and it's better than nothing. So I just decided to move that filter out here, because might as well have more filtration in another part of the house rather than just the bedroom. So I have the Oronzi filter, HEPA, and then this bad boy from Amazon, which is also a HEPA air filter. And I change the air filters. I change this one like once every 4 to 6 months, and then the Oronzi you change every 6 months to a year. However, since it's right next to Bogie's cage, I plan on probably changing that filter every 6 months, because he's danderfy. This is just baseline cleanliness. You want your air to be clean, and if you have a bird that's very danderfy, shoved in a smaller room, that's dramatic, but there's a smell. Birds do produce a certain smell, and I personally don't want a friend or someone to walk in my house and be like, ooh, this is a bird person's house. That actually happened to me before when I had carpet. This man walked into our house because he was looking at redoing our windows, and he goes, do you have a parrot? And I was a little mortified because Bogie was in my bedroom. I was like, yeah. And he's like, oh yeah, I can smell it. And And I was just like, okay. So the air filter in the bedroom has really eliminated a lot of odor. Of course, changing their cage frequently also helps with that. Get on that air filter. It's really important not only for your bird's health, but especially for your health. So along the lines of air purification and dander and dust, another way that you can actually make your house cleaner is to give your bird baths regularly. I'm not saying go stick your bird in a bath. Believe it or not, when I got Bogey, that's what the bird store owner did. He did some weird bath. I didn't even know what it was, but never force your bird into a bath. There's many ways you can get your bird accustomed to bathing with you and make it fun. So this is not the video for explaining how to do that, but bathing really, really reduces dander. And I highly recommend it because it's just good for your overall bird feather health, and it's fun. It's fun to take your bird in the shower. You can also use a spray bottle and train your bird to appreciate bathing that way. So either shower, spray bottle, just don't force your bird to do it. Don't spray your bird in the face with a spray bottle. I hope that goes without saying. Let's talk about vacuums. So I have so many vacuums. My husband makes fun of me. He calls them my OCD machines, and I'm proud of it because I need good machinery to keep this house clean. So the first vacuum I have is the Roomba. Now this is like the biggest, I would say, hack that there is in terms of cleaning. If you have a messy animal, I would highly recommend looking into a Roomba. My mom has the really expensive one where the Roomba actually dumps into like another compartment, so you don't even have to do that. I have the cheapest Roomba, but it's so nice to just turn it on when I leave and it just goes around the whole house. I don't really have to worry about vacuuming as much. The next vacuum I highly recommend is the Dyson. This hand vacuum is epic. I love it. I was like excited to get married just so I could put this on the registry. Shh, don't tell my husband that. But this thing is so powerful. It has high suction, extended run, and mass suction. It comes with a bunch of different pieces here. Sorry, Bo. Here. And this is what I use every single day. Every single day, I use this. I vacuum around Bogey's cage because his dander feed, feathers are everywhere, and his food's everywhere, and then toys. Just a little bit of mayhem around your cage, isn't it? And then the other vacuum that I use is the Shark vacuum, Navigator Shark vacuum. It's the lift away. I also love this vacuum. Growing up, my mom had a vacuum from like, I don't even know, but it had the bag in it. It's just like a normal vacuum with the bag and you couldn't see in it, and it would just smell really bad every time I'd use it. And even though we changed the bag, it would still smell. This vacuum is odorless, there's no smell. You can see when it needs to get dumped. You don't need to buy any sort of bag for it, which I really like. It's just simple. And this piece, you could take this piece off here so you can use it to suck up things behind your couch, behind your cabinets and cupboards and whatnot. And that's really useful because with a parrot comes a lot of dander, and there's feathers everywhere in this house. And our place would be so gross if I didn't take that vacuum and go under the bed, go under all the furniture, and just clear all that stuff away. And then it's really easy to dump. And mind you, dumping your vacuum will expose you to all the dangers of what we're trying to avoid. So when you're dumping your vacuums, make sure that you are outside, or honestly wear an N95 mask to prevent that exposure of dust and dander, because you could be doing everything right in your house and then you dump your vacuum, then you're exposed to the worst of what you're trying to avoid. So little tidbit there too. So another trick and tip that I use to minimize the dander and dust around my house as a bird lady is the Swiffer duster. And this thing is great because I don't know how many of you have had a regular duster and then the duster itself becomes like a hazard because it's so dusty and gross and then you have to clean it. I kind of hate that. So what's nice about the Swiffer duster, do you want to go up there? Go to your perch. He wants to go up to his perch. The nice thing about the Swiffer duster is that you just pop the tops off and you can use it for a few times, and then once that gets gross, you toss it off and you're done with it. It really grabs the dust and it like holds the dust onto it, whereas like other other dusters I've noticed, it just kind of like puts the dust in the air. And I'm actually allergic to dust, so I want to minimize as much of that as possible. Oh, hey, no. Bogey was eating my computer. Come on, come here. This is the challenge of having Bogey out for videos. He's always on the prowl looking for things he can chew when I'm not focused on him. Okay, going up to the perch. One of the most common questions I am asked in general ever is, does your bird poop everywhere? Yes, he does poop everywhere. He's lightly potty trained, which is awesome, and he poops on all the perches I have provided for him around the house. He knows that if it's a perch high up, he gets a treat when he poops, which he just did. I'll get you a treat. Come here. Okay, I got him a treat. He pooped on his perch. Good job. You did great. However, Bogey still has accidents. I have another treat in my hand. Accidents. And he still poops where he wants to poop. But I wanted to talk to you guys about what I place under his perches, because obviously if he's pooping a bunch in one spot, that's disgusting on your floor. I used to put newspapers down, but newspapers look kind of gross and ugly in your house, and I kind of like an aesthetic vibe. I just thought of getting some clear placemats, which I did end up getting clear placemats, and I put those under all of his main perch locations. So now he poops on the placemats, and you know, twice a week I either vacuum the dry poops up or I dump them in the trash, and then all I do is spray them off in the sink, and they're good as new. They're reusable. It saves paper, it saves time, energy, and they don't really look that bad because they're clear. So that's a tip that I have. Also, give your birds some cool places to go fly and land on, where they can play, they can be birds and have fun. I love my Planet Pleasures perches. I will link those below with a discount code, and I highly recommend just going and checking those out, because it will just make your life so much easier with your parrot if they're more independent and they can go play on the perches and they can poop up there, because birds typically will become accustomed to pooping in one spot. I don't know if you've noticed, but usually in your parrot's cage, they'll sleep in one spot, they'll poop in that one spot. And while we're on the subject of poop, I actually forgot to mention, get yourself a few Tide pins. I was doing my sheets today. Bogey did his first morning dump on my nice white comforter, and luckily I caught it before it dried. That's the best way to really get a poop out. Catch it before it dries. Try to get the actual poop part off, and then use a Tide pin to kind of erase all the green or brown that's left. Yeah, you pooped on my comforter, Bo. You pooped on it. Anyway, these are really useful to have because same principle goes for clothes, pillows, couches, carpet, whatever. It's just easy and convenient. So lastly, we're gonna talk to you about food storage and what I do for Bogey's numerous bags of bird food, seeds, treats, millet, what have you. I have a really great under my bed storage system that I'll show you guys, and I just put everything in one place. So unless it needs to be frozen or in the fridge, all of Bogey's stuff goes in one nice tidy bin under my bed. I live in a pretty small condo, so organization is key for me, especially with Bogey, since he's almost like he's like having a child, you know? So it really helps to have all of his stuff just put in one spot. And that way, you know, when your house is decluttered, your mind is decluttered, and you can focus on things that really matter, like quality time, training, or non-bird related stuff as well. That's basically all of my tricks and tips on how to keep your house clean. Best rule of thumb I can give you is just to stay on top of it and have good tools that help you want to stay on top of it, so you don't just put it off and then your house really truly looks like the crazy pigeon lady from Home Alone. And I've probably forgotten something, so if there are any other tips and tricks that you find beneficial, put them in the comments to help our community out, as well as me. I still need help too. And yeah, that's it. Can you wave bye? I love you. Good enough. you so much for watching our YouTube videos. By watching our videos, you directly support Bogey and I, which we greatly appreciate. If you want to see even more content bird related, please be sure to check out our website, nerdybirdcollective.com, where we have free guides. You can subscribe and get updates through blogs. You can also reach me directly on our Instagram, which is Bogey the Galah. I personally reach out to everyone who messages me with a response in a timely fashion. Thanks again, and hope to see you soon.